I've almost recovered from my heavy cold, so I think I should be okay. I'm still a bit croaky, the voice is still a bit so we'll see how we get on. Today's lesson is from the Headway Plus book here at Al Jazeera International Academy. And my name, as you know, is Mr. Paul Anthony. And we're going to be looking at vocabulary, words that go together. It's always good to improve your vocabulary, to maintain a book of new words and try to use those new words in various grammatical structures, how you would use particular words in sentences. And I would suggest making 10 new words a day, so you get 70 new words a week. If you can do more than that, then that's fantastic. They do say that the human brain can only take in 8 new words each day, and that it can only process those 8 new words in a particular structure. For example, 8 different grammatical structures. As you know, there are 12 different grammatical structures you could use, but if you can use a different one for 8 new words each day, 8 sevens, so you can see you can really build up a massive vocabulary. So let's start with today's lesson. It's to do with words that go together, and here we are. Words that go together. Many verbs and nouns go together. And for example, tell a story, leave home. So we're going to look at the chart on the right. Here's the chart. We have verbs and words which are complements. This doesn't mean a compliment where you say to somebody, "Oh, you're looking very nice today. Oh, you're a very nice person." No. It's not that. Here, the word complement is spelled with an E and not an I. It means in addition to. It means that the word goes with the next word. It's not a compliment. It's what it does. It complements the word. It is not a compliment. It complements the word. Okay? So let's have a look at that. And they all appear in the emails. We've got some emails we're going to look at, and the problems in the emails. And all of these words, these verbs, and the words that complement the verbs, we're going to look at those. So first of all, let's have a look. Let's see what we've got. The verb get. Get a job. Okay, get a job. They go together. They go together. They go together. Go to university. There you are. Go to university. I wonder if I can actually use this. Let's see if this works. Go to university. There you are. Go to university. Discuss. Discuss. Discuss is to talk about. If you discuss something, you talk about it. So what do we talk about? We talk about problems. So discuss problems. Go on. Go on a diet. It doesn't mean to actually physically step onto something. It means to take part in a particular idea. And the idea is to lose weight. So the best way to lose weight is to eat less and eat nutritional food like salads, fish, things like that. And this is called a diet. To go on a diet. There we are. Go on a diet. Okay, go on a diet. Do. Let's have a look. Do exercise. Do a decision. Do weight. Do your time. So this one is the verb to do exercise. To do exercise. So you do exercise at the gym. And that will also help you if you're on a diet and you want to lose weight and want to get fit. So you go on a diet and then you do exercise in the gym. Okay? do exercise. Have. Oh, yes, here we are. Have a conversation. So when you're discussing a problem, you are having a conversation. Okay? You are having a conversation when you discuss problems with somebody else. Okay? The next one, take. Take your time. Now, take isn't like the physical, when you take something, like a phone from the table, or you take a book from the table. No. This means something else. To take your time means to go a bit slower. Not necessarily go slowly, but not as quickly. Just take your time. And that's what you have to do when you're learning a language. The key to any language is to repeat, repeat, repeat. That's the only way to allow your brain to take the information in and to retain it. You have to take your time. You cannot learn a language like that. It's impossible. You have to take your time. Step by step by step. Repeat, repeat, and repeat. Okay, so that's take your time. Okay, take your time. And sometimes we have to decide, what are we going to do? I have this problem, I have that problem. What am I going to do? I have to make a decision. I have to decide, I have to think. And that is called the verb to make a decision. Make a decision. There we are. Looks like a new railway network. Let's move up. Oh, look at that. It's because I'm still holding the pen. Try again. Look at that. It's amazing, isn't it? Magic. Let's try again. Let's move up. Here we are. Now, two nouns can go together. Okay? For example, post office. Headache. I have a headache because of my cold, my heavy cold, my sore throat, and my head. So I do have a headache. The same as you can have a backache. Oh, my back. And I do have problems with my back. I do. So sometimes I have a very serious backache. And I'm also having work on my teeth. So sometimes I have a toothache. But today I have a headache. You can also have a stomach ache. Oh, and I did have a stomach ache too. Now, let's have a look at these words that go together. Here's another one. Horse race. A horse race is a race between horses. That's a horse race. A race course is the track where the horses run, where they have their race. That's the race track. Okay? But here we have the horse race, which is a race for horses. You can also have a race course. This is to do with the race track, but it's also to do with maybe the fences the horses have to jump over on the race track. So that's called the race course. The reason I mention that is because, as you know, we are here in Saudi Arabia, and the Saudis, they do like their horse racing. Oh, that's another one. Horse racing. This is when you have lots of horses racing along. We also say galloping along around the track. So galloping is a word which kind of sounds like That's galloping. So that was galloping. Now we're going to look at how these nouns are used together to make new words. Okay? So we have more than one word here. Let's have a look. Alarm clock. This is a clock which makes the sound of an alarm. You know, what do you do in the morning? I get up in the morning. So when you get up in the morning, usually you hear your alarm. In the past, a lot of people had alarm clocks. But of course today, many people use their mobile telephones to set the alarm. I certainly do, and it works. My alarm clock on my mobile phone wakes me up. And when I hear the alarm going off, I get up. My alarm clock kind of goes, so then I get up in the morning. Car park. Car park. This is where we have an area, a very large area for cars, and we call it a car park. Especially we have this at shopping malls, shopping centres, where you can, and we usually in Britain we have underground car parks, so they can go underground, but then you can drive around looking for a space and you actually find out that it's on several different levels. So that's a car park where you can park your car before you go and do your shopping. In American English, a car park is called a parking lot, and it's the same principle. Okay. The next one we have, oh, perhaps I should use my pen. So, alarm clock, car park, traffic, traffic lights. So traffic lights are the red, amber, green lights for controlling traffic. We do have quite a lot of traffic lights in Britain, but we also have a lot of roundabouts, you know, the roundabouts, and they also keep the traffic flowing. I have noticed in Riyadh there are certain problems at roundabouts because people are still not quite sure how to use them. Because we drive on the left in Britain, we give way to cars coming from the right. So here in Saudi Arabia, if you're approaching a roundabout, you should give way to the traffic coming from your left. But unfortunately, I have noticed, especially in Riyadh, that nobody seems to give way. It's like everybody is the king of the road. Anyway, cultural differences. Say no more. The next one, credit. Credit card. So let's go down here. Credit card. So a credit card, as I'm sure you are aware, is a card which you can use to purchase goods at the shops, and also you can use it for your online shopping. Credit card. Sun. Here we are. Sun glasses. So here are my glasses. They are not sunglasses, although they do change colour in the outside in the sun to help protect my eyes. Sunglasses, that's exactly what they are. Glasses which protect your eyes from the sun's ultraviolet rays. Time. Ah, yes. Here we are. Time table. A timetable is really a schedule which gives you the different times, like a chart. And yeah, it's more of a chart, I would say, than a schedule. And well, the Americans, they say schedule, and the British say schedule. But for some reason, sometimes I say schedule. I've been watching too many American movies. Anyway, it's like that. Also, it could be defined as a chart. So in Britain, when we're waiting for the bus, so we have quite an efficient public transport system, contrary to other people's point of view. I think the public system of transport in Britain is actually very, very good. I am a great lover of trains. I love to go by train. I love to travel by train. And so we have a timetable of the trains, when the trains come in, what time they're going to arrive, what time they're going to leave. And so I would recommend the train system in Britain. I really would. I've spent many, many years living in and around the London area, and I'm really impressed with the transport services in Britain. Prior to that, of course, I did used to drive quite a lot. But we'll see when I return if I'm going to drive or not. I probably will, actually. So, a schedule or a timetable is a list of times, arrival times, departure times, destinations, what time the train or the bus will arrive at that particular destination, what time it's going to arrive where you are. So that's called a timetable, okay? Timetable. Now the next one. Ice cream. Now I'm sure you've all been to these fast food outlets eating your ice cream, and we get the cone, the ice cream cone, and the ice cream on top. I'll tell you a true story that happened to me. I went into McDonald's in Dubai, and in Dubai everything is very air conditioned. Much the same as here in Saudi Arabia, only on a much more advanced level. It's fantastic really. Nobody walks anywhere, same as here. People always drive or get taxis, take taxis. And anyway, I went into McDonald's in Dubai, and I ordered an ice cream. So and everything is air conditioned, it's very cold. So I've got my ice cream, and what did I do? I went out of the shop. And what did the ice cream do? It went, and I came back in quick, and I'm like this. And then I realized everybody was looking at me as if to say, look at this stupid Englishman. I was like, oh, okay. That's a true story, by the way. That really did happen. And the other thing I use with this word, ice cream, I know I shouldn't do this, but I frighten the students sometimes just to wake them up. I ask them about the word ice cream. And I say to them, do you like ice cream? And they say, yes. And then I go, ah! And they jump back. And I say, I scream. So obviously that's the verb to scream, not the noun ice cream. Anyway, that's just one of my little tricks for waking up the students. What else do we have here? Oh, so we have some more. Okay. Hair. What can we say about that? Let's see. Hair dryer. Okay, hair dryer. This is something I have no use for whatsoever. I do not need a hair dryer. So, a hair dryer is a thing like that, and it's kind of like that, and you click it, you've got to plug it into the electricity, and it goes, and you dry your hair. But I don't do that. I don't dry my hair. There is no hair to dry. Shut up. The next one, we have sun. We can say sunset. There are sunset. This is when the sun comes down. In the winter in Britain, sometimes the sun sets, the sun comes down anytime between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. The sun starts to come down. Yeah, it could be like 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. in the winter in Britain, it can be quite dark. You can see the sun coming down. So when the sun comes down, that's the sunset. Okay? The next one, ear. Okay. Earring. Okay. So a ring is kind of like that. It's like you have a wedding ring. You know when you get married, and you get the wedding ring. And so a ring is a circular object. And here we have earring. So it's what it says. This is the ear. So ladies in particular wear earrings, and young girls, they wear earrings in their ears. And sometimes so do men. Anyway, sign. Signpost. Signpost. These are, excuse me, these are, maybe you have a lamp post like that, goes quite up, it's a long pole, and on the top of it have a sign, like that. It might say stop, and it might say turn right, or turn left, go straight ahead, or 30 miles per hour, or here, like 50 kilometers an hour. And it's a sign, it tells you something. So a sign tells you something. And it's in the street, next to the road. And it's called a signpost. The post is the long pole, and that's the post. Then you have the sign, so it's called a signpost. Bookcase. So a bookcase could be something like this. You have like a shelf. You have a shelf, and you can put your books on the shelf. But that's like a bookshelf. A bookcase would be kind of big like that. There would have lots of shelves. The plural of shelf is shelf. So you would have lots of shelves, and we call them bookshelves. So, but the complete thing altogether is called the bookcase. Okay, the bookcase. That's lots of bookshelves encompassing lots of different books. Put them all on the different bookshelves, and you have your bookcase. Okay. Rush. Rush hour. Well, to rush is to hurry. Hurry, rush. Now, the rush hour in Britain is around about, I don't know, should we say 8:30 to 9:30 in the morning? That's the rush hour. And in the evening, I don't know, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. We call it the rush hour, when everyone's hurrying to get to work and they're in a hurry to get home at the end of their working day, and that particular hour. So in Britain, what happens is when you buy your tickets, your train tickets, for example, if you buy the off-peak means you cannot use it, you cannot use your ticket during the rush hour. However, it's cheaper than the normal ticket. So on the train ticket, if you buy a ticket which you say off-peak, so they say you can use it after 9:30, and you cannot use it between 5 and 6 p.m. That's off-peak. So that's the rush hour, when everyone's rushing around. So if you want a cheaper ticket, you get it off-peak, but you cannot use it in the rush hour, when people are going to work and when people are coming home from work. Okay. What's the next one? Earth. Oh no, text. Text. Oh yeah. Text message. Well, I'm sure we all know what that is, especially if you're in Riyadh. How many times do you see people walking along like that, texting their friends, even in the car? Is it any wonder there's a lot of car accidents in Riyadh if people are using their phone to text their friends while they're driving? Don't do it. Now then, the next one, earth. Earthquake. Earthquake. This is when the ground moves and it shakes for maybe just 45 seconds. And then you find there's like 6.5 Richter scale shaking, which brings down buildings. Ooh. And as I mentioned, I think in one of the other videos, in 1997, I was in Turkey. and there was a massive earthquake which stretched as far as Istanbul to Ankara. It was a massive earthquake, and many people were killed in this earthquake. Unofficially, more than 20,000, sorry, officially more than 20,000 people were killed, unofficially more than 100,000. It was impossible to estimate the numbers of people that actually died in the earthquake. And then 3 weeks later I went to Greece, I went to Athens, and there was another earthquake. So the earthquake is when the ground moves and shakes. It's to do with fault lines in the earth, and the magnetic plates are moving and shifting, and it causes the buildings to shake. Yes, that's an earthquake. Okay. Now we're going to look at the first ones to see if we've actually got them right. So we'll look at the key. Let's have a look at that. So yes, here we are. Alarm clock, car park, traffic light, credit card, ice cream, sunglasses, timetable, raincoat. Oh, I think I missed that one. Never mind. Hairdryer, which can also be spelt D-R-Y-E-R. Sunset, earring or earring, signpost, bookcase, rush hour, text message, earthquake. So a raincoat is a coat we wear if it's raining, to keep the rain off us, to protect ourselves from the rain. That's a raincoat. Okay, let's go over here. Now we're going to listen and check. I'll open the script so we can see. Let's move that on. I'll open the script and play.
Tape script 8.6. Alarm clock. Car park. Traffic lights. Credit card. Ice cream. Sunglasses. Timetable. Raincoat. Hairdryer. Sunset. Earring. Signpost. Bookcase. Rush hour. Text message. Earthquake.
I'll just play that one more time so you can listen again.
Tape script 8.6. Alarm clock. Car park. Traffic lights. Credit card. Ice cream. Sunglasses. Timetable. Raincoat. Hairdryer. Sunset. Earring. Signpost. Bookcase. Rush hour. Text message. Earthquake.
So we can choose different words, and we can say things like this. You use it to pay for things. A credit card. That's right. Let's look at another one. You eat it. An ice cream. Yes, that's right. You wear it to protect yourself from the rain. A raincoat. Yes, that's right. Verbs and complements. That's what we were talking about before. So get a job. This is when you have an interview. And nowadays a lot more people are having interviews online. I notice there's many jobs online for English teachers, for example, but also other jobs, managers, all kinds of jobs you can be recruited for online. That's when you have an interview, so that's the verb to get a job. So let's look at the next one. Go to. So we would say, go to university. So, usually if your children are of university age and they score, I don't know what it is, about 6 points on the IELTS, 6.5, and then you can get into university. I did teach IELTS for a couple of years. I was teaching the National Guard in Riyadh. The National Guard is something like 100,000 men who are traditionally from desert regions, and they support the royal family, and we were teaching them in Riyadh. We were teaching the National Guard, and they were being taught IELTS, the IELTS program. So I've learned quite a lot about how to teach IELTS, and I think at that time it was 6 points to get into university. But I think usually it's about 6.5 to get in. I'm talking about a British university. I mean, my knowledge of other universities is very limited. Let's see. So, yeah, let's go to university. The next one we have discuss. Oh, I think we did this. I think we actually did this. But we'll do it again anyway. Just to recap, just to make your... Because as I said before, the way to any language really is to repeat, repeat, and to repeat. So we'll just go through it one more time. So we say, discuss problems, go on a diet, lose weight. That's when you go on a diet, you lose weight. Do exercise in the gym. Have a conversation. That's when you discuss things. Take your time when you go much more slowly, as we discussed earlier. And the other one was make a decision. That's when you think about what you're going to do. Now we're looking at the doctors. And as I mentioned earlier, I've had a bit of a cold this week, quite a heavy cold, causing me stomach ache, headaches, sore throat, really heavy cold. So, at the doctors. Complete the chart with an illness or symptom. So, the first, we have diarrhea. Diarrhea is not very nice, it's quite unpleasant. It's when you have to keep going to the lavatory. Okay. Food poisoning. Perhaps you've cooked something, maybe you've eaten something from a restaurant and it's been refrozen and cooked again. That will certainly cause food poisoning, which will make you vomit, it'll make you sick. It's not very pleasant. Flu. Now people, they seem to be under the impression that if you have a heavy cold, you've got the flu. Well, this is not true. It's simply a heavy cold. If you had the flu, which is a contraction of influenza, if you had the flu, you would not be able to get out of bed. You would be sweating buckets. Sweating, lots of like water, moisture, and you would be aching from head to toe, backache, arm ache, legs ache. And you would have the shakes. You wouldn't be able to get out of bed. No matter how many blankets you put over you, you still feel cold. That's the flu. Then we have the symptoms. It hurts when I walk on it, or maybe you have a problem with your foot. My glands are swollen and it hurts when I swallow. Your glands are here, and if they're really swollen, when you go to eat, you can't eat. It's really painful just here. I'm sure we've all had that problem at some time in the past. I can't stop sneezing and my nose is runny. So sneezing, achoo, achoo, achoo. Cannot stop sneezing, achoo. Well, your nose, it doesn't literally run. It's when It's like liquid coming from your nostrils, from the inside of your nose, and you have to use a handkerchief all the time. That's what I've been doing all week. And I've been blowing my nose, which is a bit like that. So, let's have a look at the illnesses and the symptoms. I've got, as in I have got a cold. This is the contraction of I have. I've got a cold. So people don't generally say I have a cold like a robot. It's very robotic. They say I've got a cold. That's much more natural. I've got a cold. So what can we say? Let's move that up a bit. What if we move here? So, the symptoms. I've got a temperature, my whole body aches, and I feel awful. Actually, that could be the flu. I've got the flu. I've got a temperature, my whole body aches, and I feel awful. Yeah, that's the flu. I think I've got a cold. Well, I've already told you about my cold, so you can work the symptoms out from that. Runny nose, yeah. Achoo, can't stop sneezing. I've got a cold. I've twisted my ankle. That's the bone between your leg and your foot. That's the ankle. If you twist it, you're walking. Oh, and then you could twist your ankle. So it hurts when I walk on it. It hurts when I walk on it. I've got diarrhea. I keep going to the toilet. I've got a sore throat. My glands are swollen and it hurts when I swallow. Sore throat. This is the throat here. I've got food poisoning. I've got food poisoning. I keep being sick and I've got diarrhea. Yeah. And that brings us to the end of today's demonstration lesson with myself, Paul Anthony, here at Al Jazeera International Academy in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And we are using the Headway books. Do you want to have a look at that? Yes, we're using the Headway books to teach English. And I'm so pleased that you attended today's lesson. And I know that you're going to do very well with your English studies. And hopefully, maybe we can see you here, if you're in Riyadh. Pop along, have a look, tell us what you think. Your comments and your feedback are always most welcome. Thank you very much.